Omak Onyaso tonight. INEC Chairman Professor Atahiru Jega asks Acting Inspector General of Police to be wary of high-profile politicians who he accuses of sponsoring electoral violence. European Union sets aside $325 million for internally displaced people in Borno State. President Jonathan and President-elect meet for the second time at the presidential villa to discuss transition matters. And President Jacob Zuma meets foreign nationals over xenophobic attacks in South Africa. On Business News tonight, consumer goods manufacturers set agenda for incoming government.
And on Sports News tonight, Barcelona face old boss Pep Guardiola's Bayern Munich. Juventus draw Real Madrid in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League.
For the second time in 1 month, the President and the President-elect met again at the presidential villa for about 30 minutes. Both leaders emerged from the meeting with broad smiles but refused to give details about their discussions. President Jonathan merely told journalists that it was one of the many meetings that will hold in the course of the handover.
Where the president will come and I will show him around the State House. But today is not for that. Today is for continue with our conversation. So we don't need to worry the president. You don't need to also worry the president. Yeah. But you see that we are smiling. So it was a beautiful one, sir. Yes. What are you discussing? I will not tell you. But for the interest of the country.
President-elect, any just a sentence?
The president said, "Oh."
Thank you very much.
Thank you. My chairman.
The President and the President-elect there following a meeting at the presidential villa today. Now, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Atahiru Jega, has urged the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, to pay particular attention to activities of high-profile politicians who move about on election day with their security details. According to Professor Jega, such high-profile politicians who violate the movement restrictions on the day of elections are the cause of major electoral problems in some states. In response, Mr. Arase gave the assurance of violence-free elections on Saturday. Now, before the meeting with the INEC chairman, the Acting Inspector General of Police, Mr. Solomon Arase, gave instructions on restriction of vehicular movement in the local government areas where rerun elections will be holding tomorrow. The order affects vehicular movement in Abia, Imo and Taraba states between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. where the rerun elections will be held. Ambulances, fire service trucks and other essential duties are, however, exempt. The police are asking travelers and citizens who intend to ply the roads within those hours to take alternative routes. The Acting Inspector General of Police has also asked government officials and political office holders not to go to polling units with uniformed orderlies or aides. The AIG advised the people to remain vigilant and report all suspicious movements to the police. In the meantime, one of the 3 resident electoral commissioners deployed to Imo State for tomorrow's exercise, Mr. Mike Igini, has warned politicians against the use of political thugs during the supplementary elections. He also insists that INEC has resolved to use the card readers.
Card readers. We're going to use the card readers. That should be noted by all stakeholders. That for tomorrow's elections, there's going to be strict use of the card readers. Those who are going to man the polling unit as the APO1 responsible for the card readers, we are also drawing some of them from the core ICT staff of the commission here. I've also had meetings with them.
Now, preparations are in top gear for the rerun elections in a few states in the country. Reports say security has been beefed up in Imo, Taraba and Abia states, where the governorship elections were declared inconclusive by the Independent National Electoral Commission. Our correspondent Loretta Chogo reports. We'll probably have that much later on in the bulletin, but let's move on. The Director General of the National Institute for Legislative Studies has described as dismal the low turnout of legislators in the country's states and the National Assembly, which he said poses a serious risk to Nigeria's democracy and good governance. He said the re-election of legislators pitted from the average 30% in previous years to 16%, a situation she says makes continuity in lawmaking difficult, contrary to what's obtainable in advanced countries. She also says the lack of high-level institutionalization of the democratic process and transparency in governance and failure to ensure open and genuinely competitive elections are the reasons why Nigeria is unable to achieve the needed development. According to her, the Institute runs into a constant need for training and orientation for new lawmakers, most of whom take close to 2 years to get accustomed to plenary proceedings. All right, now we were speaking about preparations being in top gear for the rerun elections in some states of the country. Let's see what our correspondent Loretta Chogo has to say about that.
On April 11, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, announced that the governorship and House of Assembly elections in few states would be rescheduled.
They are conducting the elections.
This was based on a few electoral malpractices and standards. Abia, Imo and Taraba are the hot points for the rescheduled governorship elections, where INEC declared them inconclusive. Others are Kogi, Delta and Cross River states for the House of Assembly rerun elections. In some wards in Biase local government area of Cross River State, the candidates of the All Progressives Congress and the Labour Party say they won't participate in the election. They are demanding that the rerun election cover all polling units in the constituency and not just some wards. But the State Resident Electoral Commissioner Sylvester Isiani insists that the rerun elections will hold in both Yakur and Biase local government areas.
I just finished a meeting with the group. I encourage them that they have options because the election is already set to hold tomorrow and the election must hold. Therefore, encourage them to go out and participate. But if they choose not to, there's nothing I can do. And moreover, they have an avenue to go to tribunal if they don't.
The governorship election runoff in Taraba State will be taking place in 33 registration areas spread across 10 local government councils in the state. The mood in the state is peaceful, while security operatives have been deployed to the various local government areas with increased security checkpoints across the state. There is relative calm in Imo State. The rerun elections would hold in 259 polling units across the 23 local government areas out of 27. The police has ordered restriction of vehicular movement from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Security is, however, watertight, as for the first time, the Deputy Inspector General of Police is leading the security team alongside the Assistant Inspector General and 2 police commissioners.
I want to use this opportunity to also advise them that they should not allow their words to be used for thuggery, violence, or for the to be used to commit electoral offences, such as snatching of ballot boxes, tampering electoral papers or whatever that the INEC has, or snatching readers' cards, and anything at all that will affect the process, please warn your children, warn your wards and other relations not to get close to this.
INEC has also upgraded the number of its personnel in Imo State by deploying 3 more national commissioners and 3 more resident electoral commissioners.
For Imo State, the area where the elections were cancelled or where elections did not hold amounted to a total of 148,407.
In Abia State, the rerun elections will hold in 9 local government areas. Some voters say they're not aware of the polling centers where the elections will hold, as there's no much enlightenment. Loretta Chiogo, Channels Television News.
In part 2, after the break, trouble brews in the oil sector as another fuel scarcity looms. That's in a moment. Do join us again.